Despite causing problems this offseason by stalling the Dubs' ability to make moves with his seemingly never-ending contract negotiations, the Golden State Warriors' problem child looked at peace in the first action of his fifth campaign in the association. While he only scored 5 points, Jonathan Kuminga's 15 minutes of action on Sunday told a much deeper story than the box score could capture. He blocked a shot with a flawless backside rotation, dished out what was tied for the game's second most assists with 4, and grabbed a Warriors-high 6 rebounds, all while looking locked in defensively and fully engaged on every possession. It wasn't about gaudy stats or highlight dunks this time. It was about composure, maturity, and balance, 3 things that haven't always defined Kuminga's young career. ESPN's Mark Spears put it perfectly when he said happiness, joy, and peace was what he saw from Kuminga in Golden State's preseason opener. After months of speculation, contract drama, and doubt, Kuminga finally looked comfortable in his own skin, and maybe for the first time, comfortable in the Warriors system too. For a player whose summer was defined more by rumors and frustration than basketball, this was a refreshing sight. Kuminga's contract standoff dominated headlines for months, with reports suggesting his camp was seeking a deal north of $140 million, a number that turned heads given the Warriors' financial strain. The franchise already had one of the highest payrolls in the NBA, and with Curry, Green, and Butler all on long-term money, adding another massive contract wasn't a simple yes. The front office loved Kuminga's potential, but they wanted proof that he could deliver on it consistently. On the other side, Kuminga's camp felt he'd earned his place among the league's rising stars. That disconnect between what Kuminga believed he was worth and what the Warriors were willing to risk created a summer-long tension that paralyzed Golden State's ability to move decisively in free agency. They couldn't plan around his salary demands, and he couldn't plan for his future. Yet, through it all, both sides knew one thing. If Kuminga performed, everything else would eventually sort itself out. To really understand the weight of this situation, though, you have to rewind to where it all began. When Jonathan Kuminga made his NBA debut in October of 2021, he was a mystery to most fans, a 19-year-old raw athlete from the G League Ignite, joining a team of future Hall of Famers. His first appearance came against the Oklahoma City Thunder. He played just 6 minutes, but every second was electric. He attacked the rim fearlessly, showed flashes of two-way potential, and carried himself like he belonged. The crowd at Chase Center felt it, that same energy that made the Warriors gamble on him with the 7th overall pick. His athleticism was rare, his frame was NBA ready, and his upside was sky high. But what few realized was just how steep the learning curve would be for a player of his background entering a system as complex as Steve Kerr's. The Warriors didn't play isolation basketball, they played constant motion, timing, and trust. For a teenager used to dominating through athleticism, it was a completely different language. The problem was that the Warriors weren't in a rebuilding phase, they were chasing banners. And that meant every mistake, every blown rotation, every missed read came with consequences. Kuminga found himself trapped between two worlds, the long-term development arc of a young star and the immediate expectations of a championship contender. One night, he'd look unstoppable, scoring 20 with suffocating defense. The next, he'd be nailed to the bench after missing a backdoor cut. Steve Kerr's trust was something earned, not given, and for a young player like Kuminga, patience wasn't easy. That tug of war between talent and trust shaped his first few years. It wasn't that he wasn't ready physically, he just had to learn how to play their way. And that's not something you fix overnight. By his 3rd season, the frustration was boiling. Kuminga's confidence was growing, but his role remained inconsistent. During the 2023 playoffs, whispers began to surface that he was unhappy with how little he was playing. He'd show flashes of dominance in the regular season, strong finishes at the rim, improved shooting mechanics, and better defensive awareness, only to see those minutes vanish when it mattered most. Reports emerged that Kuminga was frustrated with his lack of opportunity and that he wanted clarity about his future in Golden State. To many around the league, it was the first sign of a possible rift, but behind that frustration was something deeper: belief. Kuminga knew he was capable of more. The question was whether the Warriors believed it too. Then came the 2025 offseason, the tipping point. The Warriors faced a pivotal decision: commit long-term to Kuminga or explore trade scenarios while his value was high. His camp reportedly sought a deal in the $30 to $35 million per year range, putting him in the same ballpark as other rising wings like Jaden McDaniels and Franz Wagner. The Warriors, however, weren't ready to make that kind of leap of faith. With their cap sheet already stretched and a new CBA limiting flexibility, locking in another 9-figure contract for a still developing player was a massive risk. Negotiations dragged on, leaving the Warriors handcuffed in free agency. They couldn't finalize extensions for key veterans or pursue free agent fits until the Kuminga situation was clearer. And for a team trying to maximize what's left of the Steph Curry window, that delay stung. Yet, when the ball tipped off in the preseason opener, none of that baggage seemed to follow him onto the court. From his first possession, Kuminga looked calm and purposeful. His rotations were sharp, his reads crisp, and his energy contagious. He didn't force shots or pout after substitutions, two things that had plagued him in the past. Instead, he focused on doing the little things right, boxing out, helping defensively, moving the ball. It was a performance that screamed maturity more than dominance, and for the Warriors, that was arguably more important. You could sense that the offseason drama had forced him to grow up, to channel frustration into composure. Spears' description of peace wasn't poetic fluff, it was an observation rooted in real change. That change might come from perspective. Kuminga is no longer the kid fighting for minutes, he's entering his 5th year, one of the few young players left from that bridge generation between the dynasty core and the next wave. He's watched Jordan Poole come and go, he's seen how Draymond and Kerr handle internal conflict, he's learned how quickly roles can shift in Golden State depending on effort, attitude, and trust. Now, instead of chasing validation, he seems focused on controlling what he can: energy, defense, and impact. His rebounding on Sunday was a prime example. 6 boards in limited minutes, nearly all of them contested. That's not a stat-padding effort. That's a player intent on proving he belongs on the floor, no matter the lineup. Behind the scenes, the Warriors chose a middle ground, committing to Jonathan Kuminga's growth without locking themselves in long-term. His new 2-year, $48.5 million contract includes a team option after the first year, giving Golden State both security and flexibility. It's a statement of belief in Kuminga's potential, but also a strategic safeguard. If things don't progress as hoped, they can pivot quickly or even move him as part of a larger trade package mid-season. For Kuminga, it's still a win. The deal rewards his breakout flashes and gives him a chance to prove he can be more than just an energy piece, that he can anchor a lineup and command star minutes. For the Warriors, it's a balancing act, maintaining leverage in case another contender comes calling, while keeping one of their most athletic young players motivated and engaged. If Kuminga continues to channel this version of himself, focused, explosive, and within the system, the team option might never be used. But if not, the Warriors have kept every door open, a reflection of how cautious and calculated their roster building has become in the post-dynasty era. For now, though, the message is clear. Jonathan Kuminga might have been the Warriors' biggest offseason headache, but as this new season begins, he looks more like part of the solution than the problem. His journey from a raw rookie debut to a poised young veteran finding peace amidst chaos mirrors the Warriors' own identity crisis, balancing the weight of their past with the need to evolve. Curry's leadership, Draymond's accountability, and Kerr's system have all played a role in shaping him, but ultimately, Kuminga's peace had to come from within. And if this version of him, calm, engaged, mature, is here to stay, Golden State might just find that the problem child label never really fit in the first place. Sometimes, all a young player needs isn't a new team or a new contract. It's a new mindset,